You ever find yourself making old man noises?
All the time.
Get out of the car, in the car.
Every minute of every day. I'm making the... Oh, are you talking about when you stand up or something? You're like... yeah, of course. All the time. So...
We're only in our early 20s.
Is that an old man noise, or is that... I feel like everybody does that, though.
Maybe it's just like signal of relief.
Like a quick, like when you sit down or something. I feel like it's you just settling wherever you're going. Or getting ready to move.
You know what would be funny? If every time you got up or sat down like that, you just screamed at the top of your lungs. I know you don't want to try it, though.
Not when there's this many people in the building.
Yeah, I know.
It's a little too early for that, too. Just screaming at noon.
Well, now, hold on, dude. Here's a quick thought for you. Is 2 a.m. early or late?
Depends when you go to bed.
Fuck, that's an interesting question.
Yeah, it can go both ways.
If you go to bed around 9 o'clock or before 10,
yeah,
I feel like 2 a.m. is early.
Well,
but if you go to bed at 3 a.m.,
mm-hmm.
2 a.m. is just pretty late.
Luckily, we're not Mark Wahlberg, so we don't have anything to worry about.
What?
Yeah, because he gets up at like 1 a.m. to work out.
Really?
Dude,
Yeah,
him and The Rock are just different.
They're just insane.
1 a.m.
Yeah, he's like...
When does he go to sleep?
Yeah, I do biceps at 1 a.m. and I go do full body and then fucking...
Just
then,
biceps.
Yeah, and then eats breakfast at 3 and then...
Because that's normal.
You know?
He was pretty jacked in Pain and Gain, though. I was
He
wondering if
was.
he was waking up at 1 a.m. to do that.
Probably 3, but... Like...
He needs his beauty sleep.
Yeah.
What time does he go to bed, then? If you wake up at 1?
Probably 6:30 p.m. or 7 p.m., dude.
That's just insane.
There's no way, because he's got too much shit to do. Right?
I mean... I don't know.
Like, he's got to be going to bed at, like, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
At the earliest, right?
Yeah, but...
I would hate to have a schedule like that. Not necessarily like him, but just where every minute is like... It has its own purpose.
Every minute counts.
I feel like I would be anxious all the time.
To a T.
Yeah.
And if you miss just one of those minutes, you're fucked. The rest of the day is ruined.
Well, dude, it's kind of cool though. It's a different. It has to be a different feeling.
100%.
Your day is completely different than any other.
I feel like sometimes in your life you have to have that. But personally speaking, I just can't. Not for too long.
Have you ever had those off days? Like, where, for example, you're at home, you're sick, and your sleeping schedule's fucked because you kept like sleeping and waking up because you're just so fatigued, right? And then you end up actually just settling on waking up, and then you end up waking up at like 1:30 a.m. and you stay up till 4 or 5, and then you go to sleep again, and your whole day just feels weird.
Yeah,
because you're not really sick anymore, but you're recovering.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to get your shit together after a while.
You're just like, huh, this is an interesting feeling. Everyone's asleep. I'm awake. I'm ready. But I can't do anything because the time doesn't make sense.
What the fuck am I doing with my life?
Yeah, and I still feel like shit.
Sickness is still beating me down.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing you could do is cook up some chicken noodle soup.
And turn on episode 54 of the 2 a.m.
Let's
podcast.
Go, baby.
Welcome back. In the stew.
Now, as you guys know, we usually do stew things in here. Stew things consist of...
What do they consist
drum
of?
Tweeting.
Drum pads.
Piano loops.
Piano loops.
Guitar chords.
Guitar chords.
Cinematography.
Lots of cinematography. A lot.
Shoe flexing.
Pressing play buttons.
The best Adidas outfit.
Damn, Zayd actually got a good one.
What did you say?
Pressing play buttons.
Oh, yeah. But...
Never pause, because the good times never
And
stop.
moving a mouse.
Last but not least, movies.
Movies, for sure.
Movies, for sure. Now...
This entire podcast could just be a movie club.
It really could.
Wanted it to be.
We should partner with Regal.
Wait, why don't we do that? Like once a week, so we drop 2 episodes a week, but one is just the normal 2 a.m., and then the other one's like a movie review. It's like movie club. We choose a movie, everybody go fucking watch it.
Yeah.
Come back to discuss it.
Movie
make
of
a comment
the
section.
week.
There's one problem with that. I've seen every movie on the face of the planet.
That's good. That way we can talk about it.
Yeah. And you can talk about it, rewatch it as a refresher, come back, hopefully with some new perspective that you didn't have before.
You know, it really takes a different kind of movie for me to rewatch. Like what's fuck? I can't believe I forgot the name.
What?
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse for sure.
Nocturnal?
No, with Christian Bale and the Ferrari one.
Ford v.
Ford v.
Ferrari.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
That's one that I could watch over and over again.
I feel like that movie didn't get enough credit. Like, it got credit, but I feel like in terms of the Oscars and shit like that, it didn't get what it deserved.
No, every
No.
shot was perfect.
The thing is, dude, 2019 was a weird year because there was a lot of really great films.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
It
Parasite
was really
just-
hard. Like, I couldn't blame them when I was watching like the Grammys and all that stuff. It's just like, dude, who do you award anything to? Or like, you can't just award things like that. Like, it's just every movie was so good.
I know.
Like, you can't just, you don't know who to give it to. It seems unfair, but it's not because every movie was good, pretty much.
I mean, that's ideally what we want. We just want good movies all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have
like,
good movies.
Parasite had a clean sweep at the Oscars. They just took fucking
everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if
I haven't either.
if it was valid. Maybe that's the first movie club.
You know what it is? It's
Hmm.
kind of like a psychedelic horror. So it's kind of like it's very atmosphere based,
Mhm.
and it really does a good job of letting you know what you're. It's like the story is crafted in a dream.
I think we need to watch it. That'll be the first movie club
Yeah.
episode.
Parasite was amazing.
For a movie to win Best Foreign Film and Best Picture of the Year,
Mm-hmm.
damn, that's got to be a good ass movie.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Absolutely.
review it like from beginning to end, or
That could be an extra that we do.
I mean, those are details we can iron out
Yeah.
outside of this episode.
Yeah, we could do an episode where we're watching it and then, or we just like put it out there. It's
Yeah.
us watching it, and then we come back here and we have like a fully polished review.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
it.
So my review of Parasite, I thought it was shit. That's all the review is.
Yeah.
But it's like people
um,
could turn it on and then they're like watching the movie with us, essentially. You know,
I get you.
that could be cool. So
Yeah.
then you could do 3 movies a week, or sorry, not 3 movies, 3 videos a week.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, damn, son.
No, that would be crazy.
Um,
But it's like, for example, Friday's the regular episode,
mhm.
and then yeah, Friday's the regular episode, and then Saturday or Sunday you put out like the polished review,
Mhm.
and then in the beginning of the week or closer to the beginning of the week, you could do the one where we watch the movie, like on a Monday or something like that.
Yeah,
That could be cool.
I
I'd
think
be about
people would
that.
like that.
I could be about that. Yeah,
And why not?
I know.
It's fun. It's something we all like
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
We all
We
love
also have a
movies.
few movie geeks who listen to the 2AM pod.
Do we?
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Let's get them on board, man.
Yeah.
Let's cherish them.
Captain,
Hold them close.
Captain Phillips, though.
I am the captain now.
Oh, I don't even remember what the name of that movie was.
It's called like Water Heist or some shit.
Water
no, it was
Heist.
Tower Heist.
It's like the sequel to Waterworld or some shit.
Yeah. I don't know.
We're stealing all the water. We're stealing.
Oh my god, that's actually funny that you have to watch that for your class.
Doesn't California steal a lot of the water from the Colorado River?
Of course. Steal a good portion of it.
The Colorado Riv?
Yeah.
The Riv.
This state's infrastructure for moving water or retaining it is horrible. That's why it's illegal to store water,
Yeah.
Not
like
to,
in tanks.
Not
at
to
your
mention the
house.
quality is shit.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad I watched that episode of Down to Earth with Zayd.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
I don't know
What's
if you've
Down to
seen
Earth?
it. It's Zac Efron's show.
Oh, okay.
Zach
okay.
Saffron.
I forgot the guy he's with, but he
Zach
met
Saffron.
yeah,
Sorry.
he met a guy basically that was very like passionate about nutrition and health and things like that, and he wanted to explore the world in different cultures and see what people are doing differently for mental health, like your body health, all that stuff. And one of the episodes was about water and the water system specifically in the United States.
Horrible.
Well, actually,
Horrible.
Well, they went to France. They
Yeah,
covered
they-
mostly France.
No, but the whole reason of them going to France was because they're going to show you that they have it on point.
Or they're
And they have
yeah,
a whole
they're comparing
sector,
it.
which is basically a private company, that's a water plant that has full control of France's water. So that
Mm-mm.
way they don't use any chlorine.
I
with
think
their-
it's public.
What do you mean?
It's a public thing.
Yeah,
Like-
it was a private company, but they chose them to go public.
To be completely fair, though, with the chlorine thing, it's actually safe to add a little bit of chlorine into your water, like a very small amount. You can use it as a disinfectant.
Yeah, but what they're saying is that there's alternative methods. Like, why are we using chlorine? That shit's not good for us.
Yeah, we shouldn't be using it, but
Yeah.
you can. It's
Yeah, so what they use is UV light,
Which is interesting.
Really?
which is very interesting, dude. And if you look at their setups, it was like over 300,000 cubic meters of fucking water.
I would like a conversion of that.
And
I
if no one knows what it is, imagine a dryer and a washer put together. That's 1 cubic meter. Now imagine 300,000 of that.
It's fucking insane.
That's a lot of water.
But I think the idea behind UV light is and they only use light. So I think the idea behind it is that it destroys harmful pathogens.
Yeah,
The mechanism I don't know specifically.
while
but-
keeping the good minerals that we need for our body.
That'd be.
And they have mini fountains everywhere.
Dude,
Yeah, they do.
Imagine
yeah.
how convenient it would be
that's
here in
you
the
you
States.
probably know.
Yeah,
You've been to
it's
Paris.
it's really trippy because you roll up to them, and some of them they're fountains that have been there for in some cases hundreds of years,
Yeah.
and you can just roll up, and the water it's different than like the fountains we have here. Their fountains are just streams that pour down,
Mhm.
which makes sense. Like, why do we have that shit that shoots out of the side and it doesn't like really quite get out
Yeah.
right if the
You
water
have to do
pressure's
fucking
fucked?
ninja
And then
moves to get it.
sometimes you get those like gross fuckers that'll put their entire mouth like on top of it. It's ugh.
Yeah.
Like
You
it's
just
so
can't.
gross. And we're sitting here like, why can't we think of a better system? It's simple. Just let the water fall.
Yeah.
Let gravity do its job.
Literally.
Like what it's been doing since forever. What it's
Now, how did the water taste?
fine.
Tastes minerally.
Didn't have any
No.
chemical taste or anything.
It wasn't like, oh my god, this is good water. Like, you know,
Oh,
it wasn't
yeah.
like some of the specialized bottled water you get here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just water. I mean, it tasted kind of old because it's running through some old ass pipes, but I mean, it was fine.
Yeah, that's
It
what
was
people
better
say.
than LA tap water. Let's put it that way.
People said it tastes like pennies.
In France,
Mhm.
a little bit, and I
Right.
think that's just a lot of the, like I said, the old pipes. Like some of the
Okay.
metal probably gets off into the water
Hmm.
just a little bit. But yeah, it was fine. If I were to guess, I've never had New York tap water, but I've heard it's actually pretty damn good. Yeah,
Interesting.
that's like one of the reasons why they say their bagels taste so good over there.
Damn.
Is like their high mineral count or like the amount of
Mm.
minerals or something they do to the water.
Their pizza
Mm.
too, right?
Yeah, it's just like the water is that special
Yeah.
thing apparently. So I would, having never tasted it, I would imagine that it's somewhere in between LA tap water, so dog shit, to New York tap water, which I hear is pretty good. So it's somewhere
Yeah.
in between. Probably leaning more towards the New York side.
Yeah. That's fucking.
But yeah, it was cool. And it was also really convenient because you know those smart bottle filter things? Smart
Uh-huh.
filters we have where you put your bottle up to it and it'll just dispense water.
Yeah.
It was like that, just minus the smart thing, which is
Yeah,
a
you just press the
sensor.
button.
Yeah, just touch a button.
Touch a button. Okay.
Works great.
That's down. I actually support that fully, bro. That's so awesome.
Yeah. What was the statistic they gave out of how many plastic bottles we go through
It was like
Do you mean
each year
when you say
or each
plastic,
day?
when you say plastic bottle, you mean like a
1.3
like water
million.
bottle, not like one of those containers that you carry around, not like this, but made out of
No,
plastic.
yeah, plastic.
Like a standard
It
bottle
was
of water.
I think of 1.3 million a day. or
It's
something.
fucking insane.
That's crazy.
It is not good. And I don't know how we're going to replace them. There really isn't a material out right now that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's like as cost efficient or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I think aluminum, dude. Aluminum.
It's
kinda
certainly
makes
a better
sense.
option
but
than plastic.
aluminum cans have a thin plastic
Yeah, but
lining
I'm not
in
talking
it.
about cans. I'm talking about pure aluminum. I have aluminum cups at home, for example. They're really cheap.
Yeah.
And
But you don't want to keep water in there for a prolonged period of time. That's why you want that thin plastic layer, because it would just taste like straight aluminum if it
Yeah.
was in there for as long
then
as they normally are.
what is that? The one,
This?
yeah, like your carrier.
This is just metal. I don't know what kind of
Is it
metal it's made
stainless
out of.
steel?
It's probably steel.
I think mine is stainless steel.
BPA, patents pending.
It just says plastic on the bottom.
It doesn't say it doesn't say what type of metal it is, but I'm sure you could
Just
Google
painted
it and
plastic.
figure it out. It says BPA free, so
Well,
free.
it doesn't have
But-
any flavor though, right? Like-
no, but I only store water in this for not
Maybe
even a day,
Yeah.
right? So that's fine. But
Okay.
after a while, like a couple weeks,
Mhm.
just sitting in there, it's going to start to
Yeah.
develop some
It's not-
metallic-y flavor.
It's not the
Yeah.
move.
Like that's why all the beer cans and stuff like in the 80s and before that, or maybe even the 90s, I'm not 100% sure, but in back they didn't have that thin plastic lining in them.
Mhm.
That's why everything tasted like a tin can
Yeah.
or an
Weird.
aluminum can.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was a little segue here into
Mhm.
a different topic, but I was having a discussion with one of my Twitter peeps, and it was a wholesome conversation because he was a new follower, but we basically he started talking about his background, and he mentioned that he sells life or health insurance, and then that got me thinking about the topic of selling yourself
Mm-hmm.
and how important of a skill selling yourself is, and that it applies to many more areas than I think people would immediately assume.
How'd you start thinking about that when he was talking about life insurance?
Or health
No,
insurance,
health
because
insurance.
Well, because he sells.
we were talking
Oh,
about
he
sales.
sells health
Yeah.
insurance?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
We were talking about
sense.
sales. But yeah, it's
It's interesting because you can dissect that into multiple different things. But
well, first of all, we can get into like, okay, of course you can take a look at like a basic sales job. You are selling yourself, and the product is associated with you, right? But for example, if you're trying to attract a woman, you're also trying to sell yourself. It's very real with how you dress, with how you speak, your hygiene. That's very important. What else?
yeah, I like that because whether you think about it or not, you're constantly selling yourself.
Yeah.
Now you could be aware of that or not. If you're aware of that, you're usually putting on a front. You're not really being yourself. But
And a fucking job interview. You're selling yourself. Like you can go in there with baggy clothing, looking like shit.
yeah, if there's the question of why, then you are selling yourself. Like for example, why do you want this job? Well, obviously you're gonna fucking fight for it. You know?
Well, I don't want this
Yeah.
job.
Why do you want this chick?
Just saying. Just saying.
Just saying, yeah, you know. But yeah, no, I get that. I like that.
And one thing that really pisses me off about this topic is that the people who are usually offended, or like they're offended when they tell you, or when you bring up this subject.
Who gets offended by this?
A lot of
Who?
people don't want to face reality and face the fact that
Who?
they have to sell themselves. A lot.
Who?
People who usually look like shit don't take care of themselves, don't take care of their health.
This is such
I'm just gonna
a
assume.
gross assumption.
No,
Well,
I-
it's an assumption, but it's
I'm just
true at
going
the
to
same
assume-
time.
But is it true?
Hold
though?
on.
It's true
I'm
for a
just-
lot of people, but it's not true for
I'm
many
going to
others.
assume that his Twitter peep was seeking advice because obviously he sucked at some aspect of or wanted to improve.
No, he actually wasn't seeking advice. It was just it was a
was just
wholesome
discussing it?
conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. But I can see that, dude. I mean, yeah, we think this is like, it's normal, you know, to like be able to sell yourself and like you should have the confidence to, right, and all that stuff. But you'll be surprised how many people.
Like they hide behind the excuse of, oh, I'm just being myself. I like to wear these clothes. I don't like to change my appearance at all.
Yeah. Like imagine someone just coming to you and constantly telling you, I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. And it's just like, okay, well, you're talking to me and you don't mind talking about it. So maybe you have a little bit of an extrovert in you.
Well, what if by them doing that, they're putting themselves up for sale, as you're putting it?
Yeah.
However, it's
For
just not.
sale.
It's just not what the company or whoever's deciding to hire you, is looking to buy. They're being their authentic self, in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
From what you're talking about, selling yourself, it sounds like for a good portion of people, they're going to have to prop themselves up a little bit and put on a show. And is that selling themselves or selling an image of themselves that they want others to see?
It's a
Well-
bit of both. Well, if you go into a job interview, like you have to prop yourself up.
I'll tell you
You're
right
to
now.
meet your what?
I'll tell you right now. So, products are attractive, right? Especially when they
They
have
should
great
be.
packaging. Now, think of yourself as that. You are a product, and you're trying to appear with a great amount of packaging, just a fucking fantastic, because that's your entryway to pull them in. You know what I mean? Like, I've worked in sales like in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
The funniest thing is when you know someone to their core, like one of your colleagues, for example, and you know they're like a pathetic asshole that, you know, has just a shitty life, cares about the wrong things, you know? But when he's selling, he's a totally different person. He has this package appearance, right?
Mhm.
This whole like, yeah, dude, I'm suited up. Nothing could stop me, you know? All this kind of stuff.
Suited up.
Yeah.
I am unstoppable. I am
So,
the motherfucker.
Think about it that way. In that sense, yeah, you do have to put on a front, but you're selling that self
Mm-hmm.
to the person. So if you fuck up, it's all over. You're not getting that sale, you know?
Also, what the fuck is social media? The entire thing is just one big like sales pitch on how great my life is, how amazing I am.
Yeah.
Oh, I have my brunch. It's so fucking good. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's inauthentic.
That's true. But
I feel like people in the upper positions know if somebody's being authentic or if they're just trying to conform to an image to try to kiss ass and make money.
yeah.
They know. And those people have their place. There's definitely a job, or there's definitely positions that need to be filled by people that they can be on when they need to be, but when they're off, they're like you said, two completely separate
Yeah.
personalities. However, when somebody comes in and they're genuine and they want to build that connection, establish a positive rapport, if you
Mhm.
will, with whoever the employer is, before you even get the job, I feel like they value that more than somebody that's just like, hey, I'm the best person for the job, and like I do X, Y, and Z, and blah blah blah, and I only
Just
talk
comes
about
walking
myself
in.
because I think this whole interview is about me, and you're judging me. No.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, if you can make a connection
Yeah.
with the person that's trying to hire you,
Uh-huh.
you have significantly higher odds of getting the job
Yeah.
because they want to hang out with you.
That's true.
If you're somebody that they can vibe with in the workplace because they're going to be around your ass all the time, they want that person.
Yeah.
They don't want
Agreed.
the person that's putting on a fucking show.
Yeah.
And then this first day they come into work, they're a dick. They don't like that.
Yeah.
They're not fans.
In that regard, it's like followed by that immediately is show me numbers. What have you done? What have you done for other companies? You know?
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I don't care what you do. You know? That kind of stuff. I've gotten that talk a million times where it's just like, I don't know what you're doing, but the numbers look great. Keep doing it.
You're like, all right.
You're like, all right, you could be fucking lying or stabbing people, but like, we just want them numbers, man. You know?
I agree, but when I say sell yourself in a job interview, for example, it's not like you're putting on a show. It's just being well dressed, taking care of the basics, hygiene.
Putting on a show.
But is that
Yeah,
putting on a show?
essentials.
But what if that's not you?
If that's not you, then do you deserve the fucking job if you can't keep up with basic stuff?
Hell
know.
no.
But if you want the job, you're going to put on the show. If that's not you,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just offering a different
No, of course. There are
perspective.
different perspectives to this.
Because I actually agree with you. I don't even disagree with
Yeah.
you. I think you're right. If you're going in for a job interview, be the best you can be.
Like, sure, you can build rapport with your interviewee, but if you're wearing cargo shorts and sandals, you come into the interview like that.
Yeah.
You smell like dog shit. Like, are you really going to get the job?
No.
Most likely not,
Yeah.
no.
So you're saying appearance comes number one, obviously, because you're a standing mannequin.
I would
that's for sure.
I wouldn't say it's number one, but it's pretty up there
Yeah.
because you're making
Well, I would think it's number one. I think number two is most definitely right after the first initial look, like, you know, like communication. Communication
How
skills.
do you carry yourself in
How
a
do you carry
situation like
yourself?
that?
Body language. How do you speak? What words are you using? What's your tone?
Tony Poppins.
Are you smiling? Eye contact. That kind of stuff.
Just in the job interview like this the whole
Tony
time.
Poppins mentality.
He's literally have a seat.
So over here, I've prepared this bed of fire for you to walk barefoot through. Interviewee, show me what you're made of.
You're
Tap
like,
into
this
the
is like
mind.
Tuesday morning, dude. Let's do this shit.
Let's go, baby.
He's like, you don't have to take your shoes off, and you're like, no, I got this.
Don't worry, Bo.
We're doing this old school.
Yeah, man. But
But those are skills. Communication's a skill. Appearance is a skill. All skills you need to learn.
yeah, and that's I think if you're gonna get into sales, you gotta know that you have those skills first.
Some
Right.
people don't realize they do not have them, though, and those are the saddest situations.
That is the conundrum.
Yeah, it's kind of like waiting
It's-
for the sale to happen.
It's the people who
You're not really
think
selling.
that they're like really good at it,
Yeah.
and then they realize after a while they're like, I fucking suck at this.
Yeah, it's
Some
like,
people
why-
just don't have it.
Yeah, some people have fear of it. Some people don't have it at all. Some people just don't care for it.
Yeah.
It's just all different kinds, but communication, man, it goes a long way.
It really does.
Yeah, it's literally what you say in the first like sentence.
That's why I hate texting. There's no
Yeah.
context. It's just words on a page,
Yeah.
and then you determine how that's supposed to be.
WID, you
interpreted.
hung? See. All
You
right.
hung?
You hung, boy. I am hung. What we eating? Don't know.
Jesus.
Don't know or oh no? Oh no, it is.
Don't know, or you don't want to get food with me. Which is it?
Yeah. Where you at? WYA, bro. Oh my god, I texted Zayd the other day at like 9 p.m. And I was like, why aren't you at the stew? And he's like, what you mean? And I was like, we're recording. And he's like, oh yeah, you try to fuck with me, huh?
No. My response was, my ass were recording.
Yeah.
I would have known about this
Yeah.
if we were.
Saeed and I were sitting here just like,
Yeah,
the fuck,
like,
man.
what the fuck, man?
Mike's all prepared, lights all up.
The camera
Where
is
is
right.
this man?
9 p.m. That's funny. But yeah, I got your ass though a little bit.
Yo, did y'all hear what happened last
Mm.
night?
Wait, hold on. Can I say it?
Yeah, you can say it.
I heard that the president got Rona.
Yes, he did. The only reason I'm laughing is because the irony is so astounding.
Yeah, the whole like
of the
why-
situation.
like he's like Biden's a pussy for wearing a mask, kind of shit. And
Did
then-
he ever say that though?
Yeah, dude, he acknowledged that. He's like,
But
what did
he
he say? He's like,
No, I think we know he's opposed to wearing a mask because I've only seen him with it once.
he has it though. Like even in the debates, he pulled one out of his coat pocket. He did because like somebody called him out like, you don't believe in masks. He's like, I got my fucking mask right here. Like,
oh my god, dude.
It was probably this shit cracks me up, dude. That was horrible.
Wait, I
Those
heard,
debates. Oh my god.
Melania got it too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she got it as well.
So
Understand.
they're quarantining in the White House, which is not a bad place to
In the bunker?
quarantine.
No.
I'm sure they have a bowling alley. They have all
Not the
sorts
worst
of
place in
shit.
the world.
Yeah. Damn it! What do we do with all this quarantine?
Bro, I swear to God,
I'm
this is a
sick
simulation.
of this bowling alley.
This is a damn simulation, dude. Just everything that's
Yeah.
happening.
This is part of the plan. This is all part of the plan, bro.
The memes that have been on
Yeah.
all over the internet, even since it came out that he had it.
Oh my god.
Good lord.
It's like-
people have been fucking lighting him up
Yeah,
on
dude.
Twitter.
I love when it's just like even his supporters are like when they find out it's not a hoax. Like, oh my
that
god.
one meme?
Yeah, that meme.
Honestly, here's the thing. Like, I understand that a lot of people hate this guy, but at the same time, like, it's not classy at all to be like, yeah, we wish for him to die because he has coronavirus or something like that.
Bro, that's
Because
just
I'm sure there's a lot of that.
that's
circulating
Twitter for
around.
you.
That is Twitter.
If you source outside of Twitter, you will never see that shit because it's all meme culture.
You're saying that shit
No,
doesn't
that-
no, I've-
exist on Instagram?
No, I've already heard a couple people say, yeah, I hope he's dead after this. Like,
yeah,
I hope this
yeah,
is
that's
the
fine.
thing.
But you're gonna see 90% of it on Twitter immediately yesterday.
That's true.
When it was trending, everything wasn't even talked about in a serious manner. It was just literally jokes and memes and gifs, and I'm like, all right, cool.
The Twitter comment section
I
is
get it.
ruthless, bro.
If I
It
want to
is
laugh, I'll
ruthless.
go on Twitter. If I want to know for real, I'll move out of Twitter, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I would go to Twitter for news.
I would not go. Yeah, I'd
I
go
would-
to find out what it
I would
is. But if
never
I'm gonna
go to
read
Twitter
up,
for news.
if I'm gonna read up on it, I'm not going to fucking Twitter.
Well, I don't go to like the fucking news section.
Yeah.
I have trusted
Yeah, you just
sources.
look. You look at the trending, like the basic shit. You know,
Mhm.
like oh my god, he got Rona. You know, like
The way news
cool
on
headline.
Twitter works for me is I'll see if like you guys send me a headline because I don't have a Twitter.
Yeah.
I'll look at it, be like, what the fuck, and then like Google a bunch of articles around it just to see if it's real or not.
Yeah.
Because I've reached a point of internet disbelief, let's call it that,
Yeah.
where there's that old saying, don't trust anything you see online.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's more fucking true than ever.
Mhm.
Like, the amount of fake shit that just gets spread around on both sides from outside countries trying to cause civil discourse is astounding.
Mm.
And, like, even the lengths that they'll go to just to try to make it feel real is impressive, to put it lightly.
Mm.
So that's why you got to check, like, 5 or 6 different sources now just to verify if something is real or not.
That's true. You got to see where the story starts to change.
And really, that's just good thinking, right? You make sure you check multiple sources.
Yeah, that is just good thinking, but I mean, so many people will just stop at the headline.
Yeah.
And not even read the full headline.
Yeah, and then have an emotional response to it.
Yeah.
Just come strong.
That makes me so angry. Like, for a prime example of that.
Thank you.
Prime example. And it didn't make me angry. I was just confused, really, about how it was even going to undergo.
Mm-hmm.
But Gavin Newsom signed into law a couple days ago a couple different laws. The 2 ones that stood out, though, one that I think was really, really good, or at least a step in the right direction, is an effort to at least reduce or completely get rid of bias in our judicial system. Racial bias.
Yeah.
Which is a step in the right direction. You know, because let's be honest, there's sentences that black people get, or sorry, there's crimes that black and white people commit that black people definitely get a longer sentence for.
Yeah.
It happens quite frequently. Too much. And so that was a step in the right direction. Good for that. The second one was a little bit more confusing, especially because it really isn't even a law, but it's a suggestion, and it got signed into law. And it was paying reparations through taxation.
What?
Gavin Newsom, the theory that I was told at first was that he wanted to tax Californians in an effort to pay for reparations.
He's such a clown.
But then I Googled it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually looked around because I couldn't believe it, right? And so I went to gov.ca.gov, which is a really weird URL, and to Gavin Newsom's page. And there was little to no information about what the law actually was.
Yeah.
Like what the legislature is, you know? So I had to go to the New York Times to find out that it isn't a law. But it is. It's a suggestion that he wants to use taxation, or at least get the word out, to pay for reparations.
So it's like in the mind of Newsom.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he wants it to be a cry for the rest of the country to follow. All right. How are we going to do that?
So we're going to take money from people who had nothing to do with slavery to pay people who are the ancestors of slaves in order to make things right?
That was the theory.
Like
Is what
we're
I'm guessing.
at a certain point, are we just not going to like? Okay, it's terrible, but you also have to look to the future. You can't always be in the fucking past.
Well, the reason why I'm so curious about it is because how does the system work?
Mm-hmm.
How does the taxing work? Are you going to tax everybody?
You're going to
'Cause if
tax
that's-
white people only?
If that's the case, that means you're taxing black people as well. So you're taking money away from them to give it back. Or, like Zaid said, who are you taxing? So are you taxing everybody but African Americans?
Oh yeah. Like,
Or is it just white people?
I have.
Yeah,
no-
are you
or is it-
taxing Hispanic
We don't
people?
know. I feel like it's too early to know. This is kind of just like.
Well, there's no rule. There's like no serious thought about it. It's just like
Yeah.
an idea.
It's just another
yeah,
one
it's
of
just an introduction to his mind, bro. That's
it's
all
another
it is.
one of Newsom's big brain ideas.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking Newsom's gonna turn old someday, bro. God damn.
He's already
Well, like
old son.
one of the main reasons for opposing it actually isn't the thought of it. The main reason is like that should be a federal thing, not a state decision.
Yeah.
Which I
That was
don't
my first thought.
I don't have any play in it.
It would make more sense
don't
if it was
know.
federal, but the idea just doesn't make sense to me.
You know what makes more sense to me?
Hmm.
Something that I would be down for, and in my opinion makes a lot of sense instead of reparations, any African American that's trying to start a business, for instance, has reduced like taxes on whatever that business is that they're starting to open and
Yeah.
operate.
Mm-hmm. Makes a lot more sense.
Why not? Let them build their own businesses. Let them start up the communities, put good money back into the communities,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have to pay as much.
That's
In
true.
a sense, in a indirect way, it's a reparation, because essentially you're making the what is the word or the phrase that I'm looking for? that starting a business, like the ease of getting into it would be significantly simpler with reduced taxes. They have a lot more money to invest back into the business, or better yet, to put into their pocket.
Yeah.
So why not do that? Now people would say, oh, that's favoritism, that's this, that's that. But do you put a limit on how long that goes for? Like 20, 30 years? They have 30 years to get a chance to start a business with reduced taxes.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I personally think that's fair. Other people would be outraged. Why don't I get... That's racist. You're discriminating against white people. We've been discriminating against black people for decades. Actually, not even decades, centuries in this country. I think it's fair.
Yeah, I think it's fair too.
30 years is a solid window,
Yeah.
a very solid window for people to start businesses that could operate properly and have a long time to grow. Or even, if that business fails, they still have a fuck ton of time to start a new one.
Yeah. Well,
Probably even 4 to 5 if they really wanted to.
to live a balanced life, you need to take losses.
Yeah.
You need to have wins and losses, dude. Like,
You're going to get both either way.
Yeah, bro. And life is supposed to be tough. It's not supposed to be fucking easy.
Yeah.
Bro, look at anyone that's successful, they'll tell you that.
I understand that,
100,000%.
but I feel like instead of just reparations outright taxing everybody, just give them an easier means to build themselves up. Give them a good launch pad to start with.
Okay, but what was the first idea you mentioned that he wanted to... This is Newsom's idea. He wanted to remove racial bias from the judicial system.
Yeah.
My question is, okay, that sounds great, just based off of the immediate assumption with the idea. But is that even possible?
Yeah, it's really simple. You just have an index of crimes that people have committed that you can reference to based off of race in this instance, because that's what everybody's so worried about. You look at the crime that's committed, the racial demographic of the person that committed it, and the amount of sentencing that they got for the crime. And then on top of that, you get like some case notes. So you get like a greater understanding of what actually happened.
Okay, I was thinking of it on a personal level because, like, even people who are not racist, I assume if you put some tests to them, then they would have some bias, some inherent bias, just off the bat.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Like
makes more sense.
Like a shining example, for instance, right? The rapist Brock Turner. Now, I don't know if y'all know who rapist Brock Turner is, but
I assume he's a rapist.
Yes, he is a rapist. That's why he is rapist Brock Turner. He one night thought it'd be a great idea to get a chick who was completely blacked out, like incapable of movement or anything, off of alcohol or some drugs. And he just took her behind a dumpster, started raping her, and got caught. Openly.
Wow.
It was the clearest, cut and dry case of rape. Send this man to jail for X amount of years. I don't know rape sentencing, but like
simple.
still.
No evidence needed, nothing. Everything
No,
was clear.
multiple witnesses. It was clear by her toxicology report that she was intoxicated to a point where she was not able to make decisions or even move, and he fucking raped her.
Damn.
People saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It was at night, but still, people saw it, and they knew it was him. And he got off in court with a ridiculously lenient sentence. Like not even a year in jail.
Why was that?
And then he got off even earlier for air quote good behavior or some shit like that.
The fuck? This was probably like 6 to 8 months or something.
Yeah. And like one of the big I guess you could say phrases that came out of the case were I believe it was his lawyer or his dad. Maybe his dad was his lawyer, some weird shit. And he was like, he's just a kid, they all make mistakes. Like this shouldn't determine how the rest of his life plays out. And it's like, dude, really?
Yeah, we all make mistakes, but there's a spectrum to what kind of fucking mistake you make.
You know, sometimes you get caught speeding. Sometimes you get caught doing 75 and a 65.
Sure. Yeah.
You made a mistake. It happens. There's a difference between that and raping somebody that is so intoxicated they cannot move.
How old was he at the time?
He was in college, like I think he was in his early 20s.
Yeah, not like it matters. I mean, if you're 17 and you rape somebody, it's still the same fucking case.
No matter your age, you're
Yeah.
still raping somebody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like what you said. Like, if it's 65, the speed limit, and you're going 75 and you get caught, that's not the same as fucking
No.
65 going 75 and then fucking manslaughtering someone.
Yeah.
That's
It's
speeding
totally
is
different. You just took it to a whole different level.
speeding is a mistake. Raping somebody is a crime.
Yeah,
Outright.
Mhm.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
so the fact that he got that lenient of a sentencing, one, is astounding
Yeah,
that even happened at all.
like you go, who the fuck is judging this shit?
And two,
yeah,
imagine if it was a black guy.
Totally different.
Imagine, how long do you think he would get? of a
40
sentence?
years plus, dude.
Yeah.
So long.
I could easily see
fucked
him
up.
getting life.
So that's the point, right? Now, in that instance, you're like, well, do you give the African American or black guy the 1 year sentencing? No. You give Brock Turner the fucking 20 to 40 years.
Yeah,
That's fairness.
Mhm.
that's what pisses me off.
That's how we have these laws for a reason, and then we just kind of break them every
Yeah.
now and again. Whether it's racial bias or the judge is just fucking crooked or whatever.
yeah,
Maybe both. It's unfair. Rightly so.
yeah,
So to try to create a system where whatever crime you commit fits the punishment, or the punishment that you get fits the crime, regardless of race, like, that's greatly important.
mm-hmm.
That's equality. That's fairness. That's like what, essentially, that's a theory of what the country believes in.
Yeah.
And its core value, or at least what it should believe in.
Yeah.
That's what it's fucking written on all of our
Yeah,
documents.
dude, there should be like a dictionary for fucking crimes and then a minimum sentence that immediately applies. So, for example, if you get charged for something, even though, because I know everything's case by case, right? But even if it's case by case, the fact that you pulled this specific action, this requires that you do at least 15 years, for example. So that means it can range from anywhere 15 to life,
Mhm.
right? But there has to be a minimum set. You can't just fucking, make a first impression judgment and go, yeah, he probably does have a future ahead of him. Let's reduce it down to 6 months. What the fuck? Doesn't make any sense.
Still
This
rape
should-
somebody
I
behind
think-
a
I
This
think-
should
dumpster.
go because he needs to be taught a lesson, and everyone around him needs to be taught a lesson.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it, is that don't commit this because this is what will happen exactly.
While fucking college boy Brock is getting off because he has good behavior for raping somebody who's
Rapist Brock Turner.
unconscious. Who's unconscious, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's still like 75,000 people a year get jailed for marijuana possession in this country.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Which, by the way, in most states, it's legal to now possess
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
up to a certain level. So it's still kind of insane that a lot of people are getting, like, fucking arrested for, in
Yeah.
some cases, like, having a G, like 1 gram
Yeah.
on a...
That's what me and my dad always talk about. He always goes, that's what sucks, is that after everything was legalized, what about the guys that are in jail?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like, what?
for bullshit.
That's
Now-
some BS.
If you're... To be fair,
Imagine getting
if-
caught a day before that law. Oh.
if you're smuggling, like, hundreds, thousands of pounds
Yeah.
for shit, yeah, you probably should be in jail.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Yeah.
Unless you're a licensed distributor and you're just moving product,
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
for whatever reason across. I feel like in some states it's still legal to take it, like, across state lines.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like in a lot of states it's still legal
Because
to do.
it's still federally illegal,
Yeah.
which I don't agree with.
As long as you know your laws, you're a legal distributor, and you can get it out to wherever it needs to go without getting in trouble, good for you. But if you're running shit and, like, a 05 F-150 with the cab on
Yeah.
the back, and then you, like, cut out the tires and there's bags of fucking weed in there, they're
Yeah.
all in the seats, like, yeah, you're doing some illegal shit. You should probably
Yeah,
be in
bro.
jail.
Fucking.
But, like,
Yo, soil fuego.
What's his
bro.
excuse when he gets pulled over? I'm a walking dispensary.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Soil
well, what's
fuego
fucked is,
can.
like, these guys have these big sentences, like, even for dudes that got in for, like, an ounce. They have these huge sentences, so it's like, what the fuck are they gonna do when they get back out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the theory. I have a suggestion. Someone should start a marijuana cultivation company that hires primarily prisoners, pays them a solid wage out of the gate.
Damn.
They know the industry,
Yeah.
they know the sales, They know the connections. They know where it wants to be sold or where people want to buy it.
Yeah.
So use that, some public persuasion, federal persuasion, to try to get it legalized at a federal level, which is going to happen at some point. I mean, almost every state in the U.S. has it legal, at least medicinally. So it's around the corner. You have a great distribution network of people that you could train just to be the truck drivers to move around. They got well-paying jobs. You could have dudes that are working in the cultivation of it, processing, delivery, sales, and they're all experienced.
Yeah.
You know what I think this comes down to?
Hmm.
Logan Cyphers for governor of California.
I'm down. Let's do it.
His tagline,
Yeah.
common sense.
Yeah.
Make common sense great again.
Oh my God.
Well, did you send me that video of the guy who got pulled over? He had like he was clearly like high off of his mind, but
The Indian guy?
yeah, he came up. It
Oh,
was
I
so
think-
That guy
absurd
was
how
delusional, bro.
confident this guy
Yeah.
was.
Are you talking about the guy
He had
who's
an immediate answer, no hesitation.
meeting up with his friend Raj?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the best videos. Like, so what they're talking about is this
It's fucking ridiculous.
this Indian
dude.
guy gets pulled over and they said, excuse me, sir, are you
It's
intoxicated?
a cops episode.
Yeah, like, are you intoxicated or are you on any substances? He's like, no, this, that. And he's like,
I'm just waiting
Where-
for a friend or whatever.
yeah, he's like, where are you going? He's like, where are you on your way to? And the guy's like, oh, I'm just going to go meet Raj. Like, we're just going to go hang out, maybe get a couple drinks, like,
Yeah.
nothing crazy. And he's like, well, who's Raj? And he's like, oh, he's just one of my good friends and stuff. And he's like, can I search your vehicle?
He's like, oh no, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
You
he's
know,
like, I got nothing in here. So the cop finds like Coke.
No.
He-
Not he just doesn't find coke. He finds like a crack
he
rock in a
found-
baggie on
yeah,
his lap.
Yeah, on his lap, and then he found a freaking crack pipe in the door. Like,
Oh, where
just
did that
laying
come
there,
from, huh?
And it was fresh, like he just fucking finished. You know?
And then they start going through his phone
Yeah.
and they find like one phone number of this chick. I forget what her name was.
A
but
prostitute.
yeah, some prostitute. And he's like, I got weed and snow, baby. You trying to party?
Yeah.
No, the funniest part.
He's like, no, that's Raj.
The
Yeah,
funniest-
like,
Rachel or some shit.
That's right. I don't know. Maybe I sent it to the wrong person or something. You know, like
The funniest part about this interaction, he opens his mouth. His tongue is white because he just, I assume he just took a hit from whatever.
crack.
Yeah. And his excuse is that, oh, I just had kebabs earlier.
Well, to be like, I got.
Kebabs.
Do you know what geographic tongue is?
No.
Geographic tongue is a tongue that's very well traveled. No, I'm kidding. No, it means your tongue essentially has a hard time shedding skin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, your tongue is constantly just shedding
Yeah.
layers of skin off, right? But mine, for example, has a very hard time doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes there'll just be like layers of buildup of skin. And like, it doesn't hurt you or harm anybody else. It's not like contagious or anything.
Mhm.
It's just sometimes you can't shed its skin. So
But
like,
alright,
I'll have these
dude.
like pits in my tongue sometimes where it's like the skin is shedding. Sometimes it sheds too much. Like, it's just weird. It's gone down since I've gotten older. But when I was younger, it was like my tongue used to just be white and then have these like spots on it
Yeah.
because like the skin is shedding in weird
I
spots.
think you have syphilis, dude.
It's weird.
Nah.
That's so weird.
All right, dude. Like, at least be informed enough to have an excuse like that. Don't come up with, oh yeah, I just had kebabs. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
fucking
kebabs are pretty
delusional
dry.
crackhead. God.
Sandpaper tongue.
Crackhead ass. Oh, wait, sorry. Because we were still kind of on politics is the last thing I want to bring up.
Sure.
Because I was scrolling through my Instagram the other day.
Yeah.
And I was looking at this person's story, and they were responding to the debates because they weren't very happy. And it was 3 questions, 3 polls.
Mhm.
The first question was, how do you think the debates went? One of them, it was the options were really good or really shit. Clicked on really shit, and like 95% of people said it went shit. Like, it was horrible.
Yeah. Not
And then
surprised.
the next question was, do you feel as if one party was bullying the other? Sorry, do you feel as if one party was bullying more than the other? And I responded with yes, because it was kind of obvious. Like,
Yeah. Clearly.
yeah, it was pretty bad. And like 65% of people said yes. And then the last question was, do you feel as if a president who claims that he believes in God should act in a godly-like manner. Godly-like manner, at least have the manners of a good Christian. And I said yes, just because that makes sense.
Manners are manners. It doesn't
Exactly,
matter Christian
yeah.
or not. Yeah.
Regardless of the religion, manners are manners. But then I started thinking, have you ever heard of a concept that America used to believe in but hasn't for a very long time, called the separation of church and state?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple concept.
Mhm.
Keep religion and politics separate. But a shit ton of our presidents in the past have claimed to be Catholic or Christian just to win votes, because they know a good portion of this country falls into that
belief
category.
and emotional based.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're bringing religion into politics,
I want
and they like to
someone-
claim a lot of their decisions are based. Oh, it's what God would want.
Yeah.
Like that's the Christian thing to do. Motherfuckers back when the country was founded knew that at some point this would be a problem. They were religious, but even them back in the fucking 1700s knew that religion would cause problems with politics.
They were wise enough to understand that.
How the fuck did we lose our way?
You can apply that question to so many things.
It's bro. I'll tell
How
you
did that even happen?
I'll tell you how. Social media.
But it was way before social media. Like even in the 40s.
Yeah,
and
but are you
50s.
relating it to now or relating it to
All the above. Like
70s?
I think it
all
goes
the-
way deeper than social media.
yeah, it's way beyond. So because it's a problem that's been going on for years.
Yeah, but think about
decades,
it.
maybe
before
century.
social media, it was just media.
But even then, you still have people who are politicians, and they're in the higher up
Yeah, I
echelons
know.
of society.
But I'm saying that let's just go back to the 40s and 30s, right? Everything was by foot. Everything you had to do and accomplish for the day was by foot, bro. There was nothing that was.
They had phones.
Yeah, they had phones, but even then, you had to go to an actual booth if you were out, or you would stick to your house and you would have to get routed, right? All that stuff. Like, it wasn't as easy as it is today. Everything's at the.
Well, also, I feel like back in the day, if there was just one newspaper article that said so and so claims like they did this because it's a good Christian thing to do, back in the 40s or whatever, that seed was planted because we don't have social media that lets us know every time Trump farts. Like,
But that's what I'm saying.
but back in the day, they were just like, "Oh, I'm voting for him because I know he's at least
Yeah.
he's Christian."
Well, that's what I'm saying. That it was so hard to get information out that one piece of information meant a lot,
Yeah,
right? So over the years, let's just go to the 60s, for example, when TV started becoming a thing, right? Black and white, and then shows and reality TV, soap operas, news, right? That had to affect something. Because then now you have all this time on the air to seek to the people that have just finished work and are sitting there being lazy asses eating Salisbury steak and shit.
Salisbury
Fucking,
steak.
You know? I mean, I don't know why I think of the 70s when I hear that.
because it's just TV dinners. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so
Yeah.
synonymous
Yeah.
with that shitty little gravy and the peas. that they give.
So nasty, dude.
Usually
Anyway.
a little bit of pudding in there if you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's not a good combination.
But like TV started becoming a thing, and then people realized that TV gets to people, gets to people's heads, right?
it's brainwashing.
I
for
am
sure.
for sure. I am 100% confident when I say this, but media, they know what they're doing.
Of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
100%.
Of course they
And
do.
I'm talking about not now. I'm talking about even in the 70s. They were like, guys, we can come up with a fucking formula, right? Da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
We can get to them. We can start convincing them from now so that in 15 years, they'll be thinking like this, where they're literally rats.
You know what was more prevalent back like in the 40s and 50s and 60s?
Yeah.
Copywriting. That's how they would get to you. Because
Yeah.
you have newspapers and
Yeah.
shit. Media did, or at least TV didn't play as big of a part as copywriting. So, for example, like how they would peddle Sprite and soda to toddlers. I've seen copywriting things where they would try to convince people that it was good for your child. It's good for you. It helps reduce cravings and all this other
Oh,
shit.
and it gives you a little boost of energy.
Mhm.
And when
Little
you study
something.
the copy, it is the most consciously created stuff you've ever seen. Like every word,
Yeah.
down to the word choice.
Well,
in some cases, they also didn't know that some of that shit would be bad for you. For example, like cocaine and Coca-Cola. They didn't
Yeah.
realize how bad that would be over a long period because they didn't do studies on it or research.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that if you just railed Coke all the time, you're not going to be the healthiest guy in a couple weeks or months. But they figured in a small enough dose, you know, you got that little, little cocaina in your system.
Productive kick.
Yeah.
We talk about Mad Men a lot, but I swear to you, we can go back to that right now and just talk about how
We haven't talked
advertising.
about it for a while.
It's a great show.
You mentioned that the wording is so precise and it's picked out like out of a fucking tree. Like they've been searching for this word for a week.
Isn't that what the main character in that show does?
Yeah, he's a
He's a
creative.
copywriter.
He's a copywriter, advertiser,
Yeah.
whatever.
He's a copywriter?
No, there's copywriters in the
the show,
in the
yeah.
building,
Okay.
yeah, but they all work together with imagery and wording and all that stuff, and he develops the idea, and they kind of word it and stitch it together, right?
Yeah.
And then they pitch it at the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So the advertising method was crazy because the way they tried to do it was to literally link with how people's lifestyles were.
I was just about to get that. I was about to say that.
And they link with their soul, dude. That's how they usually get it.
Like, it reminds me of his speech. I forget what's the main character's name. I'm totally blanking.
Don Draper?
Don Draper. It reminds me of his first, like one of the first speeches he gives in the show
Mm-hmm.
when he's trying to sell something to a customer, and he's like, advertising is more than just selling a product. Advertising is getting in touch with what the people want, their deepest desires. Everything that they've wanted as a child comes into play. You have to reach out, put your product on the stage, and try to tell a story that reaches people deeper than what they were expecting. It's about the connection over the course of 30 to 45 seconds.
Yeah.
That's advertising. And you're like, damn, he's right.
You're
Yeah,
selling.
he's right.
You're selling to human nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're selling to their internal self, the pleasure part, the fucking.
But
the
that's
desire.
Not just the pleasure part. The pain part is actually
yeah.
way
true.
more effective.
That's
Yeah.
also true today. I mean, like what he said is just, that's advertising in a nutshell. Like that's exactly what it is.
And that's why, remember, it started getting, they had like a dark twist on an advertisement once where they did the hotel stay, like a staycation or a freaking,
Mhm.
what do you call it? The
No.
all-inclusive.
No, you're right. Staycation.
Like a
It was
travel
staycation.
deal.
A travel deal, whatever. But it's a hotel. So one of the clients is a hotel owner, and he wants an advertisement. So the layout of it in the newspaper would have been the shore of the beach, and then just a tie on the shore, and then 2 shoes and a blazer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like
And footprints
yeah,
leading
and then
to the
footprints leading to nowhere.
Or
It's just
nowhere,
like
yeah.
basically the guy is gone or whatever, right? It goes to show you like it's a deeper connection because this guy is, even though he's local, he's still so away that this is all he's wanted, or this is what he needs.
He gets to drop
know?
the suit.
Yeah.
He gets to drop the tie he hates putting on every morning.
Yep.
And he gets that connection
Yeah.
of being able to just be him.
Be him and just forget about all the worries of the world. And all that
Here's
shit.
the interesting thing, though, from that show. The reason why they didn't accept that advertisement was because they thought it portrayed suicide,
Yeah. They were
which
like,
makes a lot of
they were
sense
like,
when you actually.
I don't
look at
like it. He's like, what is the first thing that you think of? And then he goes, suicide. And he's like, no, your eager side wants to believe it's suicide or some shit. That's what he said, I think,
Mm.
along those lines. And he was like, no, he just went up and killed himself. Well, what is this? Just footprints, and then, and then they were like, no, it's deeper than that.
When you see the
He's
picture, you
letting
can
go.
easily see how
Yeah.
it could relate to suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just walk into
I mean,
the
it
ocean.
does. It
drown
looks a
yourself.
little dark, but not really. I get it.
That wasn't my thought. Suicide. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't suicide, but that was. I mean, you can see it.
honestly, they could have fixed that entire ad if they just had if they just drew a little person swimming in the water out
Yeah.
there. They would have saved the whole ad.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they had to do. And they were just like, no, it needs to be that.
Yeah.
Just have it, just tiny dude out in the distance so you
Yeah.
know he's alive. Just like, just stroking, just
Hence-
swimming through the
doing
water.
that
Hence, we come full circle into the
Heel
idea
click, yeah, the heel
of
click.
selling yourself. Everything is a sales game.
It is. But yeah, man. I don't know. I've talked to one person yesterday about we mentioned like the elections coming up and stuff like that. And then he said, I don't know if you've heard, but I've talked to 3 different people and they've told me something very interesting and it was all along the same line. And I was like, what is that? He said, some of my friends actually believe that right after the elections, we're going to be abducted by aliens. And they are going to abduct and torture the bad ones. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, after hearing it 3 times, I'm really curious to know why I believe it.
Who the hell told him that 3 times?
Not 3 times, 3 different people that don't even know each other.
How the hell?
What is this? The fucking
Who
day
are
of
these
judgment?
people?
Like, yeah,
Are they
who
just
are they?
people?
Some of them were his family members. And then
Wait, so they are related then?
no, not all of them. I'm saying 3 separate people, but he heard it like maybe 6 times.
But if 2 of them, if they're related by blood, you said they're family members.
Yeah, but I counted that as 1.
Oh, so 4
so
people.
families is a side, so I'll just choose 1 out of the family, and then
There are multiple people who
multiple
are
people
related
yeah.
and
Now,
unrelated.
not-
that
now
believe in the
they're
same
not
thing.
related.
let me phrase an interesting question, because when you said that, this was the first thing that came to mind. Does that sound a little bit like Rapture?
That's immediately what I jumped to.
Yeah,
I was like, what is this?
What
The
the
Day
hell
of
is Rapture?
Judgment?
the Judgment Day
Oh, okay.
for the way Christians or Catholics view.
Or Day of Judgment in
yeah.
Islam.
the end of days, essentially.
Abducted by aliens.
It's when the devil and his 4 horsemen of the apocalypse will come riding through, and all the worthy will be saved.
Why
and all
choose
the...
horses, bro? Why not Ferraris?
Yeah, I think people are bored, dude.
I really do think people are bored too.
I don't
Right
know.
after the elections, and oh my god, don't even get me started on the Simpsons shit. When they predicted Trump was gonna die in the coffin.
I was gonna
If
bring
that-
that up earlier when
If
we were
that
talking
fucking
about
happens,
that.
I'm done.
I'm done, bro. I
I'm
cannot
done.
watch Simpsons anymore.
They've already predicted a lot of weird shit.
Yeah, a lot.
All I'm saying is, it's a little too convenient, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's a
Hmm.
conspiracy, because I mean, Homeboy's kind of been denouncing the coronavirus
Yeah.
quite a bit, left and right. But still, how odd is it that 30 days before the election, Trump, or 31 or whatever, 35, some shit, Trump gets coronavirus,
Yeah.
and then right before he goes in,
It's
he
like,
dies.
bro. The
So the
timing.
question
of
You know,
everything-
you know who I think it is? It's fucking Hillary,
Oh
bro.
my
It's the
God.
Clintons. They pulled
The
a
Clinton
Ghislaine.
Foundation.
They pulled a fucking.
They pulled an Epstein.
Some people still think he's alive.
Yeah.
What's the question? Sorry to interrupt.
The question?
Yeah, you said there was a question before I interrupted.
Question.
I do not.
I
Did
guess there is no question.
Anyway,
Yeah, let's.
we'll get to Epstein being alive, but God damn it, Zayd! I forgot what the fuck I
Yeah,
was gonna say.
fucking
Fuck all of you,
rue
bro.
the train
Question.
off the
Yeah.
tracks.
My shit was worth it. 100%.
Well, oh yeah, I was gonna say that the timing of America is just has been completely off with everything. It's just everything has been too coincidental, and like it's like you want to believe that everything's a lie.
It almost makes me want to believe in the cabal of powerful people sitting on the round table just planning shit.
Yeah,
But I refuse to believe in that because that's just too nutty.
It's ridiculous.
it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah, that's what it is. But at the same time, it's like you want to, right? You
Well-
want to believe because it feels so like the coincidence matches up so accurately. You're just like, how? Why? Why now?
Ya zalame
Why did-
lesh.
Yeah, why didn't this happen in fucking August or July? No, dude, this had to happen a fucking month before the elections. And then right after he said that basically he's not going to go down easy and all this shit. Remember that?
I did, or I do. And I actually remembered. You were right, Zayd. I did have a question to pose.
Aha.
So the question was, if Trump theoretically dies
Mm-hmm.
does that mean Pence is the president?
Yeah. He's VP.
And I think
if he
that's
wins,
I
yes.
think that's a world that people don't realize is a world you don't want to step into.
Yeah.
Like if you thought Trump was super conservative, over the top, hell no. Pence will take it to another level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the beginning of his campaign, or in the beginning of their campaign, wasn't he talking about how he wasn't a fan of gay marriage?
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, I need to Google this for certainty, but
He is so bad of an option. I would rather go with Biden.
and all I'm saying is the Democrats fucked up because they didn't choose Tulsi Gabbard. And I wholeheartedly believe that. They fucked up so bad by not picking her
yeah.
as the candidate that it's embarrassing that they chose Biden.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pence, did you guys see that video of Sacha Baron Cohen
No.
just totally interrupting his speech? I think it was like in the past couple days.
Pence.
But yeah, Pence's speech. So Sacha Baron Cohen, he goes into the bathroom. He puts on this very realistic like Trump mask. He has the suit and everything. And I assume he has a woman actress with him over his shoulder. He's carrying her into the room, and I assume that's Melania. But he just totally interrupts this fucking speech. And I don't know if that's a part of Borat too.
It's probably going to be.
Yeah.
Or
But it
that
was just
that might
so
be the hype for it.
Sacha Baron Cohen's a king.
Yeah.
He's a king.
He's the king of pranking and shit, dude.
He is an absolute king.
I was wondering why it took him so long to make a second. Or I'm actually kind of surprised he's making a second. I didn't think they were going to do that because he's kind of just doing standalone movies for
Yeah.
the most part. Like just Borat,
And he had
then
a
it was
serious
Bruno,
show.
then it was The Dictator.
Yeah, he had a very serious show to come out too.
Did he?
What a legend.
Was it a talk show?
No, it's like a series.
Oh, a TV. I thought it was like
A
a
TV
comedy
series.
show, not like a serious
No,
show.
no, it was a serious TV series.
Oh, wow.
One of our friends actually brought this up. He's a very good speaker.
Yeah, of course.
Like
he's very
like excellent.
he's very eloquent.
Hmm.
He's an eloquent man.
He has
Super
a
nice.
proper speaking etiquette.
You know who else has proper speaking etiquette?
Who?
The 2 a.m. podcast crew.
Oh yeah. What are you gonna tell
I'm going to tell him that this concludes episode number 54 of the 2 a.m. podcast.
him? You know what to do, baby boo. You know where to find us. For starters,
Staring into my soul.
YouTube. Please subscribe, like, and review our content. Let us know how we're doing. You can also find us on Anchor.fm, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and many more. For any suggestions or anything like that, please feel free to send us a DM. We would love to hear it.
We should do a Q&A next episode.
I'm down. Yeah.
We'll throw out some...
We need to
We'll
have
throw
a
up
poll.
a little thing on our story.
We need a question poll
Yeah.
every day this week to try to get questions in.
I'm down.
we shall do it.
We shall. All right. And as usual, nice to talk. We shall see you soon on episode number 55.
And on a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Peace.